Stop being afraid. Get out of your
Oh,
head. Just get out of your head. It's yourself, right? I mean, even in a leadership position in a corporate world, you're isolated on your own island is what it feels like because you're making decisions, you're building strategies. Yes, you're collaborating and networking with everyone else around you, but you're also the final decision. Um, Real estate, especially as a solo agent that I am, you do everything from scratch, from A to Z. I've started to build my support system around me. Don't be afraid. Just go out there and talk to people because you're helping people more than you think you're not.
welcome to the Sold Right Away podcast, where we dig deep into real business success stories. I'm Maud Leger, real estate marketing expert and strategist. Each episode, I sit down with driven realtors, bold entrepreneurs, and industry leaders who bring one big challenge to the table and we tackle it head on. Here, you won't just hear stories, you'll walk away with actionable strategies you can apply right away to your business to build your brand, to get more leads, and close more deals. If you're ready to market smarter and win more, this is the show for you. And that's why today I've brought on Nelson Coelho from Remax, a genuine relationship-driven realtor who leads with purpose and presence. From door knocking to nurturing his sphere, Nelson shares the tactics behind his consistent growth, his mindset for building real trust, and how staying true to your values can fuel long-term success in your business. Let's get to my chat with Nelson. Hi, Nelson. Thanks for joining us on the episode today. Tell us, how did you arrive to real estate?
Hey, Mo, thank you so much for having me. I mean, real estate's been something I've been interested in for a very long time. Funny short story, I did apply for my first course back in 2003. And at the time, I was working at the bank and at a pharmacy part time. At that time, no online learning or anything like that. So I got all the books in, and that sort of was a bit discouraging, if I'm going to be completely honest. But then that's when I entered the corporate world for the last almost 16, 17 years of my life. Time went by like that. And when COVID hit, it was just, some time to reflect and reassess what I wanted to do. And then real estate always came up. And of course, it helped that the real estate market was booming, but I also wasn't, I wasn't delusional that I was going to get my license and start to make a killing because I would need the clientele in order to make that happen. So, that was where it was, the big transition in early 2021. And here we are in year number 5, and I'm still loving it and been doing it full time now for almost 2.5 years.
Love it. Love it. Look at that corporate world. 2003 to 2021, thinking about it and then actually getting it done. So
Yes, exactly.
cool. And since 2021, what was the defining moment for you that made you realize that this was what you were good at and this is what you were going to do?
I mean, I guess I adapted very well both to team settings and also working individually. So for me, at the end of the day, at that point in my life, it was very much about what was going to make me happy and what had a bit more longevity. And where I was at the moment, I would have had to move out of the country in order to continue to grow and build in my career. Whereas I wanted to do something local. I'm very close to my family. I'm one of 5 siblings, and we're very, very close, and with my parents as well. So didn't want to move anywhere outside of the city, let alone outside of the country. So it was just a redirection, got into it. And that's why the strategy of going into it part-time for the first year and a bit was just to, test the waters and see how everything goes and take it from there. But I knew I was going to love it because I enjoy people, love networking, and it's the perfect business for that.
Nice. And how did you jump 2 feet in? What made you go from part-time to full-time?
It was a transition. I joined the team as an administrative support just to still have some of that income stream because I own a couple of properties with my partner, and of course having a partner is a great support system
Yeah.
in order to maintain that. So that way I was able to just really focus on the real estate side of my career and not transition between something very different in the corporate side versus the real estate. And I really wanted to dedicate that time to it. So that was the initial, I guess, baby step into it. And then shortly after, I just decided I needed to work on my own and go full force.
Full force. I love it. And what's the one thing that you're really good at as a realtor?
I would say connecting with people, like the initial approach. I know, I'm a 6'3" man. Can be very intimidating to some people, especially when I'm in that focused mode. I guess I'm not very smiley, but no. Overall, I just think connecting with people and just identifying what it is that they're looking for. I mean, because real estate it comes in so many there's so many different avenues, right? So of course, I'm sure you've heard, or you've asked a realtor like, "How's the market?" That's such a loaded question. Everyone's situation is going to be very different, and every aspect of real estate or every category of real estate is going to be slightly different based on what you're looking for. So, um, I think, yeah, no, I think my analytical side of what I loved in business and what I did in my corporate world is definitely a strong suit that I bring forward on the table just to help clients also understand what it is I'm showing them as opposed to just telling them. Because
Mhm.
that's the end of the day, I'm a translator of the market. I'm not, a magician or a psychic that has a crystal ball. Yeah.
Yeah, true, true, true. Nice.
Yeah.
What would be one valuable lesson that you have learned that made you grow or that helped you achieve your success?
Stop being afraid. Get out of your
Oh,
head. Just get out of your head. It's yourself, right? I mean, even in a leadership position in a corporate world, you're isolated on your own island is what it feels like because you're making decisions, you're building strategies. Yes, you're collaborating and networking with everyone else around you, but you're also the final decision. Um, Real estate, especially as a solo agent that I am, you do everything from scratch, from A to Z. I've started to build my support system around me because, like I said, I mean, the last couple of years have been up and down since I came into the full time real estate world. More personal family things that I couldn't avoid or I would never avoid, and I don't regret whatsoever. But I've had fantastic clients that have been patient
wow.
and people around me and a great support system that continues to help me build and grow my business. So, um, with that being said, I mean, yeah, just get out of your head and don't be afraid. Just go out there and talk to people because you're helping people more than you think you're not.
Ooh, I like that. Say more. How did
Yeah.
you find that as a realtor?
I mean, the news media. What is the news media telling you today? Right?
Yeah.
Like the housing market's going to crash. This bubble's going to burst. This is like we've been hearing this for over 10 years, way before I worked in the market, but I was part of the market because I bought my first property back in 2012. But with that information, that already gives a negative stigma to the market. So then everyone's like, oh, I don't want to sell, I don't want to buy, I don't want to do anything because it's a bad market. Okay,
Yeah.
well, help me understand where you're getting that information from. So it's asking the right questions because
Mhm.
people don't really know until you question them a little bit. And that's where some of us agents are afraid to ask those questions because we feel A, we get too personal or we're going a little too deep. But in my head, the home's going to be the home, the neighborhood's going to be the neighborhood. But if I understand who I'm working with and who's sitting in front of me, that's going to help me identify where I'm going to lead these people. Because there have been clients that have bought properties that they never thought they would in specific areas they never thought were a good fit for what they needed. Right. So
Hmm.
it's getting deeper, asking those questions, and getting a good understanding is what's going to help the person move to the next, like the
Smart.
next chapter in their life.
Yeah, yeah, smart. I like it. Yeah, going deeper, asking them as much questions as
Yeah.
possible. Nice. What is the key to your success? I guess that must be part of it, but what would you define the key to your success?
I think my resilience. I just keep on going. I've had a lot of things that should have maybe stopped me or led me into a different direction, got me back into the workforce because times are getting tough. Like again, there's some parts of the media that is true about production of agents, how many agents we have in the city, and how many are actually producing at a specific level. There's all of that happening, but I mean, with my personality and another reason why I got into real estate is I was always super loyal, honest, and hardworking. So why not do that for myself and be able to excel in every aspect that I choose to do? And the flexibility in the schedule is always amazing as well. But it has to be smart and it has to be planned. So yeah, that's what I love about it.
Yeah, yeah. I love it. I love it. What would you say is one thing that you've learned that is your non-negotiable in your business?
Both for my business and personal, and this also comes from coaching because I have a real estate coach that's also become a really good friend and almost like a life coach. Is be in the like live in the moment, be in the now. We all every conversation, every meeting, every interaction has an outcome or should have an outcome of some sort. Um, but understand what that is as opposed to pushing it.
Yeah.
And like, so listen to what the person's saying to you, right? Because there's a lot of scenarios that you're listening or you're having a two-way conversation, but there's sometimes when you're speaking and then the response you receive is totally not what you were talking about. So you kind of get a good understanding of what that person's really pursuing or trying to push you to, as opposed to listening to what your situation is and just taking you to the next step. Because of course,
Hmm.
as a lot of people would think, I want to get that bullseye. I want to get like I want to hit the target right away, but that's not the reality of life, and we know things happen. So we have to make sure that people just feel trusted, listened to, and they're just being guided in the right direction.
Yeah. A very natural and genuine way to approach the
Hmm.
conversation with your clients, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You mentioned you have a real estate coach. Would you like to share like a key strategy or practice that allowed you to be successful?
I think it's just another layer of accountability because you put
Mm,
yourself into that vulnerable spot of sharing what you're doing and not doing to
yeah.
someone else because it's very easy to tell yourself, I'll do that tomorrow, I'll do that later. You know, it's not that important, but every action in running your own business is super important. So just
Mhm.
adding that extra layer of accountability definitely helps.
Yeah. True, true. It's like what's urgent, what's important,
Yes,
the
exactly.
priority for you that needs to be done, but it's not necessarily
Exactly. Yeah.
urgent.
And even when we talk about what the actions are, it's always about the result, but what led to that result? Because there's going to be a result for anything you do, whether it's good or bad or anything, but what led you to that? And that's where you make the tweaks and adjustments to ensure that, you know, if you want a better result, this is what's going to happen, but no results will change unless the actions leading towards it does.
I love it. How your actions, whether you do it or not, you have results.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where I think not I think that's where I stumble a little bit is I try to get things as perfect as it can be because I know nothing's perfect, but then that delays time. You know, the motivation starts to drop, and then it just seems less important to do as opposed to just having it out, you know, 2 days ago, as opposed to
Yeah.
just procrastinating on it.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. It goes back to what you said about being the moment
Yes,
instead of procrastinating. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Very cool. Nice.
Yeah.
How do you generate more leads for yourself in your real estate business?
I mean, I've built a lot into my database through assisting in open houses. So throughout my part-time journey and even into my full-time, we've done a lot of collaborating with other agents where we would host their open houses. I have my own open houses. I used to do quite a bit of door knocking, which I'll start to get back in. That I will start to get back into next week for back to school because I know, you know, the summer's crazy. There's everyone's always doing something, and not a lot of people are home. So at least we know for next week and moving forward, we will have a better rate of getting to talk to people and connect with people there and just see. And I mean, right now in the real estate world, you know, things are happening now, but a lot of this now will be more for what are your plans for the spring? Like what's, you know, what's happening in life? What's happening with the family? Are kids finishing school this year? Are they needing to move because of school, work, so on and so forth? So, yeah, so lead generation, my pillars, I would say majority are face to face. I'm, you know, not an old school realtor, but I'm very old school at heart because I've been around for a little while. So I do like the face to face interaction. And that's where one part of my business I need to get better in is in the social media aspect because getting
Mhm.
a camera in front of me is usually not the easiest. When I'm behind the camera, I'm much better, but getting in front of it, it's, you know, again, it's a mental block that I just have to get through and just do
Mhm.
that
Yeah,
uncomfortable.
that's interesting too, the way you present yourself in terms of going for door knocking in September, but talking about the end of the year. It makes my first impression for me as if I were to be the one opening the door, I would feel you're less like hungry for the business right now.
I
That
mean,
is not gonna want to do business, but I feel it feels less like pushy.
definitely. And again, that comes from with learnings. I've never been very pushy. And even a lot of my previous roles or careers, I've never been in a direct sales role. So for me, it's always been more, you know, service quality, just meeting expectations, meeting sales goals, but just different measurements. So it wasn't specifically, you know, if I didn't hit that sales goal, I wasn't going to get paid. That's not how it worked. So getting into this, that was one of my first one of my first limited beliefs to like for myself. How am I going to get business? None of my immediate family or friends are looking to move right now. So how am I going to get this started? So it's really just getting out there and training yourself to understand that you're out there to provide value. You're out there to provide knowledge and information to people that think they know, but then
Yeah.
you understand they don't when you ask the right questions and you have the right conversations. So for me, door knocking, my initial approach is I want to get to know my neighbors. I want to get to know the people that I work in the neighborhoods that I do, and because I've born and raised in Toronto. Most of it's been in the West End. Just moved over to the East End and the Bluffs almost 3 years ago with my partner. So I will be working my area here specifically because this is where I live. This is where I used to walk my dog for the year and a half that she was here with us. And then back in the West End, there's a couple of territories there that I grew up in. I mean, I used to ride my bike every day. I've seen it go from where it was to where it is now. So these are the two areas that I want to focus my business on. So it's getting to know people, understanding what they need or what they're looking for, and being more community involved is something that I enjoy as well. So volunteering at events, doing uh, food
Drive.
drives for the food banks, both not only for the Toronto Daily Bread Food Bank that we've done quite a bit with already, but also started to do something here out in Scarborough. So just to show different support. So Scarborough on this side, Toronto Food Bank on the other side, just so it just has a better balance and everyone
Yeah.
feels included within their own community and they're not taking from one another.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I love it.
Mhm.
That's very busy. That's a lot of things on your plate.
Yeah, yeah, it is, and that's why building that support system is super important for me for the back end of this year, because I haven't been outdoor knocking in a while. And again, when it goes back to your initial question about the lead gen for me,
Yeah.
I'm basically following up and touching base with who I have in my database to just
Yeah.
to see what are you doing, what are the plans, and I've started that the last few weeks as well. And some people have moved on, some people are still on pause. Again, a lot of uncertainty out there. And like I said, a lot of noise about real estate, about the economy, politics. We won't even get that because that should be a whole other podcast. But I try to only focus on intaking information that's going to affect my business and my clients and my, you know, direct neighborhoods, but also relocation is a big thing right now. So that's
Mhm.
another area that I have the opportunity to be a part of a real estate networking
Nice.
group that is across Canada right now. And we just had three agents from the US join, two of them from Florida and one of them from New York.
That's cool. So you can cross network people if people are moving.
People are moving, family members are looking to cross over, all of that stuff. So we'll partner you with a trusted agent that we work with, and we meet every month. And we do a lot of fun things like do fun contests and sweepstakes every month for really good prizes. So it's just again building the real estate world to show how small it can really be, especially when you're surrounding yourself with like-minded people that provide like like very similar service to each
Yeah.
other.
And I love how your strategy too is to rebuild from your sphere, your database, instead of
Mm,
trying to get always more leads. I think people forget how much value there is in having your own database already.
exactly, exactly,
Yeah.
and especially with the friendships and relationships I built in the last 25 plus years of being in the workforce. It just showed like people still might see me as the corporate role, as the previous roles that I were in, and through my social media because it's not super active. They may see that yes, I'm a realtor now, but on my personal page doesn't really show that versus my business page unless they're following that. But that's one area of opportunity for me to really build on the end of this year and go full force for 2026.
Fully, fully. I love it. Yeah. If someone were to shadow you for a week, what would surprise them about how you work?
Just I would say at this point, I've built a system for myself where I still work 40 plus hours. I'm not that agent that's like, oh, I'm only working 25 hours. Do I want to get there? 100% I do. But at this point, I know how to balance my time throughout the day. If I know I'm going to have a busier afternoon or evening, I'll do more of my personal stuff in the, earlier or late morning, depending on what my day looks like. And um, just how much sometimes it doesn't even feel like work. It's a lot of phone calls, it's a lot of emails. When you're doing showings and you're doing that, like the physical actions,
Yeah.
that can be longer days. And again, it's good conversation. It's how you get to know your client more. I mean, I always offer to drive my clients, even though that's something that's very old school, right? Where
Yeah.
nowadays everyone's in, like, driving themselves. But if time permits and distance and all of that, I'd rather have the client in my car, so that
Yeah.
way we can discuss what we just saw, what we're going to see. Has anything changed? How did your day go? Like, how's everything going? Because one main pillar for myself into this business is building relationships through the transactions. So it's not just the here and now, and we do this one transaction and I'm done with you. Like, you'll hear from me on your anniversary, on your birthday, and things like that. So one thing I did fall off the wagon is I used to send handwritten birthday cards to all of my
Mhm.
clients. So that, the last year and a half, just time just didn't allow. And I was falling behind and sending cards late, and it just was not a good system, and I wasn't feeling good about it. So I just stopped it and then just went on the electrical route. So people
Yeah.
do still get emails, text messages, all of that stuff, but I do love that personal touch. Right.
Okay.
So knowing that I sat there and I wrote a little message to you with the happy birthday, to me, I feel like it's something. Some people may
Yeah.
not, but I know there's still people out there that do like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, back to being genuine, right? And
Hmm.
the fact that you say you want to drive them is makes me think when you're both driving separately, you get to the house, the focus is about the house. But
Hmm.
when you're one on one in the car, they would feel like the focus is all about them from you digging deeper, asking those questions that we talked about. So
Exactly.
that's
Yes.
a good strategy.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, I like the connection, and we're in a people business. I mean, if you're not comfortable around people, then it's not the right business.
Yeah.
I would say that's why it always interested me, and I get to be a part of some of the like people's biggest decisions, if not the biggest, one of the biggest decisions of their life. So,
Mm.
yeah. So, I mean, I just want to make sure that they're well informed and they know everything that they need to know before they, press the green light to say yes.
Yes, I love it. That's very cool.
Yeah.
I have a rapid fire question segment of the podcast where some of it we may have discussed already, but it's a bunch of rapid fire questions to learn more about you.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah. I think so.
All right. So, what is your best marketing strategy right now?
Just trying to get in front of people, getting my
Nice.
face in front of people. Yeah.
Yeah. What's your best social media tactic?
Uh, Same. Just post something every day. If it's a story, like, what am I up to?
Okay, cool. If you could use only one marketing tool or platform for 1 year, what would it be?
Ooh, email.
Email. Okay, very nice. What is your top income generating activity?
Connecting with my sphere.
Okay. And what activities that is non-income generating that every realtor should drop?
Scrolling through social media.
Nice, nice. How do you win more listings?
Just be honest with your people.
Nice,
Yeah.
cool. How do you leverage a listing once you have a listing?
Uh, get out there and talk to neighbors, people in the neighborhood that might know someone that wants to move in,
Mhm.
and get more information from the neighbors. What are the best things that they love about it, in order to communicate that on all your marketing, and also be able to inform any new people coming through open houses and showings.
Wow, very, very smart. Very good. Very good. What is one piece of real estate advice that you disagree with?
Now is the right time.
Ah,
I
nice.
mean, that's just very generic, and I hear that from a lot of people. Just generally make that statement, but it might not be the right time for everybody. But
Mhm.
for, again, another segment, there's definitely going to be a right time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say that's one of them that's like You need to understand where they're coming from.
Be more educated in your
Yes.
yes. What's a mantra or quote or anything that keeps you going?
Visibility trumps ability. Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Say
one of the
more.
speakers that I heard that from, Jared, I believe his name was Jared James or James Jared, and it's all going where I'm headed with this whole social media aspect of just getting in front of people. It's just again visibility trumps ability.
Okay. Love it. Yeah. Yeah. Make sure people know that you're a realtor, not still in the corporate world.
Exactly, exactly.
No, nice. What's the best advice you've ever received?
Best advice that I've ever received. A lot. Um,
Oh,
yeah, I mean, there's a mix of everything, but I think just living in the now and appreciating what we have versus what we don't have.
yeah. I like that. Very cool. And everyone has their own definition of success. How do you define success for yourself?
Family.
Nice. Oh, wow. So cool. Very cool. Love it. If there's one piece of advice that you could leave for other realtors out there, what would it be?
Just don't be afraid. Be Get out there, make mistakes. That's how we learn and that's how we grow. Because you're the only one that's going to hold yourself back.
Yeah, yeah. The business is you. I love it.
Yeah.
Nice. Before we end today, what is next for you in the next quarter and the end of the year?
Just blasting on my social media, so hopefully seeing a lot more of me. Just
Okay.
providing value and information, and just being able to give people information that will be helpful for whatever decisions or thoughts that they have going through their mind when it comes to real estate or even investing, and outside of that as well, where I love to surround myself with what we call the power team, which is not realtors directly, but there's contractors, there's painters, there's electricians, there's plumbers. So if you need, again, a trusted allied resource that we work with, we can also help with that. So it's not always about putting that for sale sign in front of your house, but it's how
Yeah.
do we maintain and keep that house in its high standards. So when that day does come, you're going to get top dollar.
Nice. I love it. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. And where do we find you online?
So on social media, it's at Nelson Coelho Realtor.
Okay.
And then Facebook will be my first and last name, Nelson Coelho, and LinkedIn as well, Nelson Coelho. Those are the three main that I work with.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it'll be on there.
Well, now we'll be watching between now and the end of the year to make sure you're posting there
Yeah,
regularly.
yeah, and my new personal website's under construction. I should be getting that up by the end of September at latest. But I do have a Remax one that's on my social media that links people there. But I do a lot more of it through there.
Okay, amazing. Well, thank you for sharing all of this today. I think a lot of realtors will get value, and I think that was great.
My pleasure. Thank you so much, Maud, for having me. It was a pleasure speaking to you and getting to know you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in the Sold Right Away podcast, where driven realtors come to get real strategies, real results, and real actions you can take on to win more listings, leads, and close more deals. If today's episode helped you think differently or gave you a fresh perspective, do us a favor, subscribe, leave a review, and share it with other realtors who might benefit from it. And hey, what is your biggest marketing challenge right now? Reach out, drop a DM, or book a 15-minute call with me at soldrightaway.com. We're here to help you get more out of real estate. Until next time, keep closing and keep winning.